It's been a hectic 24 hours. How does it feel being a member of the Sabres?
Yeah, it has been. It's been a busy last couple of days, but I'm excited. I think I'm glad that we're into August now. It's with training camps sort of seems kind of far away right now, but I'm excited to get things going.
Why were you willing to waive the no-trade clause to go to Buffalo? Is it just a new start that you're looking for?
I think that sort of when you look at an NHL team, I think there's a lot of variables. I think that for me, obviously, at the top of the list, I think was the fact that they have such an exciting young core. They got a lot of young, talented players, and then also I think as you've been around, as you be around the league, you get to talking to people that have played in different cities. And for me, I have a few friends that have played in Buffalo in the past, and I heard nothing but positive things about the organization, about the ownership and the management, and as well as the city and the fans. So I think that I'm excited to be a piece of the puzzle there, and I'm excited to get going and meet all my new teammates and sort of hopefully get off on the right foot.
Jeff, I know this just happened, and this next question may seem a little bit unfair considering how new everything is, but after this season, you do become a free agent. Would you be open to talking to Jason Botterill, the GM of the Sabres, about something more permanent in that city, or is it just too early to even process something like that?
Yeah, I think in this business you got to be pretty much open to anything. You don't want to close doors on anything, but yeah, it is. I think that just sort of based on the last 24 or 48 hours, there's almost too much to process as it is. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting to Buffalo and meeting the new teammates and playing for a new coach and sort of getting in the city and getting off on a good start in training camp.
Jeff, I know you had some pretty good years in Carolina, and it seems like the Canes are going in a different direction under new ownership. Did it feel like this was becoming a different team as last year ended and the offseason began in Carolina?
Yeah, I think that happens. I think that tends to happen with most teams. I think, especially teams that don't make the playoffs. I think that there's a lot of turnover, there's a lot of change in this business, and yeah, there's definitely been quite a few changes in Carolina, as there has been in Buffalo, and I think that I'm excited to sort of not only join the Sabres, but also I'm not the only guy coming in there being a new face. So that sort of brings a level of comfort, I guess, that there'll be a bunch of new guys in there with me. But yeah, I'm happy to be in Buffalo.
Were you surprised by any of the change that happened in Carolina? Because we here, as kind of innocent bystanders looking at it, we're kind of shocked at some of the moves that were made. Did it surprise the team at all?
I don't know. I don't know. I think as a player, it's tough. It's tough to really sort of analyze all that stuff, because I think first off, as a player, you're just trying to focus on yourself and sort of how you can sort of get better or play. And then also, I think it's so complicated. I think that there's so many moving parts within the league, and then again, there's so many moving parts within any organization. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and sort of it's tough to sort of pick one thing and sort of analyze it without sort of keeping in mind that the whole picture, overall picture, is pretty complicated.
Right.
The Hanifin and Lindholm deal was a big one, Jeff. Obviously, that really felt like the organization was going in a different direction. When that deal with Calgary happened, did you say to yourself, I might be going next? Did that ever enter your mind?
Well, yeah, that happened around the draft, or at the draft, maybe. I'm not sure, but there had been discussions, and I think, as most people sort of know, there've been some rumors in the media leading up to the draft, and because I have a no move, my agent was involved with Carolina and sort of working with them, and there were sort of active discussions all along throughout the draft. So, but yeah, I guess that sort of that was a big deal for them. It sort of is a little bit of a shakeup, but after that happened, I think that the discussions didn't sort of pick up or slow down. They just sort of stayed the same as far as me.
Right.
Jeff, I'm not going to ask you which cities were involved in it, but how many times over the last couple of years have you been asked to waive the no move and you didn't?
This is the first time. This is the first trade they brought to me, and I think that's something I'm grateful that Carolina was willing to work with my agency and in making this process go as smoothly as it did. And I think that it's certainly better than the alternative when things could have been a little bit tougher. But I think I'd give credit to both sides for working together on it and making sure things went smoothly and sort of keeping communication moving throughout the process, which led to ultimately, this was the first trade they brought.
Nice. So from what I hear, class deserves class, and you got a little bit of class from the organization back. So Jack Eichel, they just drafted Rasmus Dahlin. It's a young team. Are you excited to kind of get in there and be one of the, I mean, you're going to be a veteran here.
Yeah, I'm going to be an old guy. So, yeah, I'm excited. I think you mentioned some pretty good names there, some pretty good players. So, and that's just sort of a couple of them. So I'm excited to get in there and hopefully, I think as an older guy or a guy that's been around a little bit longer than some of them, I think hopefully I can bring some of that experience and draw from it and we can have a good year together.
Jeff, what's the one thing you learned the most during your time with the Canes? What's the biggest thing you'll take with you?
It's a tough one. I don't know. I think for me initially, I think you look at it and it's tough to really just sort of summarize 8 years in such a short period of time. I think over the next little while and probably throughout the course of my career, I think I'll have a chance to reflect on sort of my 8 years in Carolina. I think for me, it's just like the people I met, the players I played with. I think the staff I got to work with. I think I made a lot of great friendships, and then the community and the fans. I think as an 18-year-old moving there from Toronto, you sort of are starting the sort of next phase of your life. And for me, I was kind of I was surprised. I think pleasantly surprised that it went as smoothly as it did, and the people were as welcoming and as accepting as they were. For me, I think at such sort of like a young point in my life. So sort of just all of that, I guess, wrapped up into sort of as little words as possible, I think is sort of the feeling you have right now.
Jeff, we know it's been a hectic 24 hours. Really appreciate you taking the time and joining us, and let's do it again soon, okay?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.